Agriculture was doing well. At least we were growing. Or if you check the NBS, National Bureau of Statistics, you can see, that it was a consistent growth in the agriculture sector. But when the pandemic came, it actually affected everyone. It wasn't just agriculture. Now, some people might say, but agriculture, you were still allowed to move food, you were considered as essential services, and food was still going on. True. But we were also we were also affected in supply chain. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry is one of the oldest chamber in Africa. It's actually the second oldest in Africa, oldest in West Africa. It's more than 100 years old. And its main objective is to deepen the development of the organized private sector. Every state has a chamber of commerce. That's how it's built. This is the one for Lagos. You have Ibadan Chamber of Commerce. In fact, in Lagos, you have Ikorodu Chamber of Commerce. You have Badagry Chamber of Commerce because of the wide, area for them to cover. I mean, you can't expect most people to come all the way from Ekpe to attend some of the chambers programs, especially at the time when they were physical, when we didn't have COVID. So I think it was to be able to get business support and development across the states that we have. But we have chambers of commerce nationwide and under the umbrella of NASIMA, which is the National Association of Chambers of Commerce. So Lagos Chamber of Commerce cannot be in Ibadan. It is in Lagos, just like you have Ibadan, just like you have Port Harcourt, just like you have Kaduna. They all have chambers of commerce. Agriculture was doing well. At least we were growing. If you check the NBS, National Bureau of Statistics, you can see, that it was a consistent growth in the agriculture sector. But when the pandemic came, it actually affected everyone. It wasn't just agriculture. Now, some people might say, but agriculture, you were still allowed to move food, you were considered as essential services, and food was still going on. True. But we were also we were also affected in supply chain. For instance, vehicles were not moving, so we didn't have access to the kind of vehicles that will carry. I mean, like they do food regularly, moving from one state to the other. We were also having issues of difficulties in farm production, because workers may not necessarily live in the farm. Farm owners may not necessarily live in the farm. And security operatives were not very cooperative. So they were actually impeding movement of other things that are inputs for the farm, but were not food. For instance, when people would move day-old chicks, we had issues. We were having issues with people having to get to their farms, because security operatives will stop them. And then we were having mortalities, especially in the livestock, because you need to take care of them every day. There is a global problem of food supply. Global. It's not just Nigeria, it's global. Much of which came as a result of the COVID period. So it's not just Nigeria. Waking up from there's demand and supply. There's demand higher than supply. Good thing that agriculture is, there's still some food we can have, in short periods, we still have that. So it's just demand outstripping supply, and we are recovering. But we also have other struggles. We have climate change difficulties. A lot of our farmers are smallholder farmers. They also need support against the effects of the climate change, because it's affecting majorly weather extremes. We have extreme dry spells. We also have extreme wet spells. So extreme dry spells means that rain doesn't fall the way it should, even in rainy season. As we speak, this is August, we have some areas that are just experiencing rain, and we have some areas that have had floods. So those areas that haven't experienced rain and in the proportion that is good for farming, they are having drought right now. And many of them who planted earlier, they've lost the crop. We also have the insecurity issues. More than I really don't have the statistics recently, but last time we checked, more than 40% of farmers, if you take nationwide statistics, are not in the farms any longer because of insecurity. We've had farmers who've been killed on their farms. We've had farmers who've been injured. We've had farms burnt, destroyed. So those are areas where we have shortages because proceeds of them are not in the market. Good thing CBN has intervened, which has really given us the respite that we need, because farmers cannot afford commercial bank rates. It's so discouraging, it's so frustrating. So CBN has come to the rescue and providing funds with interest rates that are affordable for the farmer. So that's good. Now we are having also some other fundings coming from grants, coming from soft loans, coming from other development banks around that are also encouraging the farmer, affordable to the farmer. The Chamber has been working with the group to support farmers with what we call climate smart agriculture training. We have a situation now with our climate. We need to know how to continue to do our business within this difficulty, and that's what we call climate smart agriculture. So there are training programs, and the Chamber cannot reach out to those who are not its members. So the Chambers actually expect us to go out there and work with the farmers who are directly affected. For instance, like I said, the smallholder farmers, because they cannot afford to minimize the effects. They need training on how to prepare land now. They need training on how to plant now, because it's different now than they used to know, like 100 years ago. They need that training. So that's where the extension services comes in. Government has been providing extension services up until like 50 years ago. Extension services began to, go out of, but we need it back. We need to teach them how to plant them. We need to introduce useful and functional implements, for them that will help them to be able to increase their productivity. But there are areas that really need to be done. Provision of water, for instance, provision of drainage. There's just so much the farmer can do after all of that. We need not have a flood if your land there's drainage provided. And then we need to also teach them to embrace insurance. Many of them they don't understand insurance. They don't even know about insurance. Many see insurance as having to do with cars. We are trying to make them to understand and to buy into insurance. And we're also working with insurance companies to understand that this part of our work, so they can encourage our farmers with affordable premium and give them the cover, so we don't lose everything. Because when the farmer loses, it's not just the farmer, it's the entire nation, because there are dependents on the work of the farmer. Our major business area is agro-services, where we provide training and capacity building for farmers. So we work with farmers, we train them on good agricultural practices, working in the farm. We also train them on how to manage agriculture as a business. Agriculture is no longer a social activity, it is a business. It doesn't matter how small your business is. Is a micro level or a small level or a medium-sized level. You need to know how to manage it for sustainability and profitability. So we train them on that. We also support them to with information about funding opportunities, about other business opportunities, like I said, what the State Council is coming with. So we work with them, and also we also work with some charity groups, NGOs who want to support them with training, with funding, capacity building, to ensure that those things are done, and we provide data for that. We also manage farms for investors. There are many investors out there that want to, go into agriculture, but they do not have the knowledge, they do not have the capacity, and they trust us, to run that, to manage that business. It doesn't even have to be a farm. That business for them. It could be logistics, it could be production, for them. So we do that. Sometimes we advise too.